Okay, so I think we can start.
Thank you very much, Christina.
Okay, thank you.
Well, welcome everybody. It's really a pleasure to be here with you and to have your time with us in this webinar organized within the project GEMSTONE. GEMSTONE is a Eurocluster project involving different clusters in Europe, and we are discussing and working on green transition. And we decided to organize this webinar involving today one of the biggest responsibles for the programs at the European level, which is EFRA. And I thank you very much to my friend Chris de Coover that we know for a long time ago in our meetings in Brussels and in other places. And thank you for have your time here to support us on this program. I would like to thank you also to our partners from the project, which help us on the dissemination of it. So we hope that you can enjoy this. Before I start, I think I would like to go to the agenda. And in the agenda, we will talk about the EFRA programs. And so we have Chris de Coover, which is a master on electromechanical engineering. He's responsible at the EFRA for the Made in Europe programs and other working groups that he's involved to evaluate and to help to bring programs to support our industry all over Europe. So thank you, Chris, for being here. We have also Liliana Ramos. Liliana Ramos is responsible for the innovation area at CENTINF. She coordinates all the projects and the programs that we have. So this is a big team that we have, and today she's here to present how CENTINF can support the companies and our members to go to European projects. So I will start to just make a short presentation. It's very short, in fact, but I think it is important to make the point on this project, because GEMSTONE is one of the projects that came to Europe with a new strategy to achieve SMEs. So there is a new instrument called cascade funding. And the cascade funding means that the partners that promote these projects at the European level, they have a budget, a very important part of the budget of the project, to distribute among companies, especially industrial companies. And it is this project is a pilot and is working very well, and involves the clusters from France, SIMS, AMC2, Paul Mecatech, Poolnet, the cluster engineering and tooling, Metal Process Cluster, Cluster MEC, and Green Tech Cluster. So as you can see, it's from different countries, different regions, and altogether we developed a roadmap for the green transition, to support green transition. And this is really important because nowadays, as you know, the three pillars, I would say, for the research and the development in Europe are sustainability and the circular economy, it's digitalization, and of course the materials, the green materials are really the three pillars on that. And so what we have been developing this project is a framework to sustain actions in different clusters and mobilize companies for these transitions. Maybe the most important for you right now is to understand that part of the budget of this project that we have is distributed with open calls. So we have calls that companies can apply, meaning that, for instance, we have these open calls right now till 31 December, so till the end of the year. We have 2 calls open that you can apply. And this supports the participation of your people, from the companies, of course, in trade fairs or international conferences. So this is really interesting because it's paid 100%. You just need to appeal, and we can support you to make this process. It's very easy. It's not bureaucratic. It's very simple, and is really interesting. The other call that is open also is train calls. So the calls that supports till 2,000 euros to facilitate the upskill of people. So the training of people in these areas of green manufacturing. So if you have people in your companies that are involved on training for these areas, please appeal on this, because this is, I would say, free money from the Commission to support us on that. And considering this is a pilot project, it's important because the success of this is important to make it usable for other programs in the European level, and also at the national level, we expect near soon. Well, we had already in the last months 2 other calls open. One was Green Innov, that supported till 60K per project to promote innovation in companies, to make small softwares, small equipments, or other issues to be developed. And now it's closed. We have other projects open in our region, in the region center of Portugal, in this sense. So for innovation is open. You can contact us to support you on that. And we have this Green Adopt to implement business process innovations in companies in collaboration. So these are already closed, these two ones, but now we have opened this for trade fairs participation, and this one for training. As you can see, we will support in these 2 calls. For the training calls, we will support 16 vouchers. So 16 vouchers we will support with the 2,000 euros. And for Explore, we have 8 vouchers to support. So this is a way very interesting for companies participating at European level. So if you, we will make this presentation available, so you can appeal on this. And please, if you have any doubts and you want to take advantage on this, please contact us for that. And this was what I want to present you about this project. And right now, I would like to go immediately to Chris de Kuber for him to make the presentation about the program and calls on green manufacturing at Made in Europe. Thank you, Chris. The floor is yours.
Well, thanks a lot, Rui and colleagues, for this warm welcome. Happy to be here. And yes, I will give you some insight into what EFRA is. It's the European Factories of the Future Research Association. That to start with, it's maybe already a mouthful, but Factories of the Future, I think that rings a bell in terms of what we are doing. Now, let me switch slides. Maybe just a bit of history now in terms of what Rui said. That raises a lot of expectations saying I'm the big responsible or for the European programs on manufacturing. Let me put that into perspective. So we are talking about a European partnership within the context of the framework program, currently Horizon Europe, that has been Horizon 2020. It all started in FP7. In 2010, actually, the first calls for proposals with a reference to the Factories of the Future partnership were included in the work programs. And there the word program falls. So it dropped. Program, work programs. The partnership means that, and there's quite a few partnerships. You may know the Process for Planet partnership, the Zero Emission partnership. So there's a lot of partnerships for different sectors. Here we're dealing with manufacturing, which is actually multi-sectoral. We'll come back to that later. So that means that there are calls for proposals where a community, an industrial community, research community is gathered to express priorities and hoping that the European Commission will address these priorities in the calls for proposals. That's one essential part of what EFRA is, why EFRA has been established. So this means that we regularly do what is called strategic research and innovation agendas. And there you see that kind of sequence of those documents. We do this by talking with our members, because EFRA is a membership-based organization, but also beyond members. We do public consultations. Our members, as we hear today, we see a nice example of this, are the people that are very close to us, that know us well, are themselves multipliers within their own regions, within their own countries. And that means that we can reach out to a lot of people like today, even on regional level. And I'm very thankful for that. So we'd like to hear from industrials, research organizations, how they see the future. And by listening, by working on this, by processing this, we come to priorities that we discuss with the European Commission. And from this comes basically essentially a call for proposals where you, the research community, the industrial community, can form consortia and go for the funding. And that's a competitive process. It's quite competitive. There's a lot of interest in the program. Currently, it's called Made in Europe. One of the things we're dealing with is what is called the oversubscription, because everybody wants more funding for sure, but certainly we see the need that that the attention for manufacturing should certainly not go down, and there's really a sense for Europe to address manufacturing also in the future for its competitiveness and for its prosperity. And we also see that the European Commission is feeling this. The point is how to leverage this in the future. So that's our role, to also be a voice for you towards the European Commission about the importance of manufacturing and the importance of research and innovation. So that's basically in a nutshell. The current SRIA, the Strategic Research and Innovation Agenda, we structure basically priorities in a stack that you see there in the middle, which are objectives, which are really, structured along the first part, the competitiveness. I mean, that's a huge challenge. Europe is, not always in a good position in terms of competitiveness concerning all other regions in the world, and we really have to work on that. And innovation is the key for that. Competitiveness in combination with circular, with green, which brings us here today. And we have to make a competitive advantage somehow also from our capabilities to address both challenges. And that also includes the need to address business aspects in a different way, which is actually the third point, how to make value out of knowledge and innovation in manufacturing, new production approaches, etc., and use models. The fourth one is definitely also a very important one, and also Portuguese colleagues among you that are very much defending the importance of skills of humans in manufacturing, and that's definitely another point that we always address. Links left on this picture are more the the European policies that really link to that. And on the right-hand side, there's this whole stack of technologies. And that makes, in a way, our program, the partnership, interesting, but also challenging. We go from, the material processing capabilities, the encapsulation of material processing capabilities in smart machines, in production lines, in value networks, encompassing now the data spaces aspect, the matter of sharing information across companies, across sectors, digital twins, AI. Well, now there's even, the big wave of what to do with generative AI, the need for standards to make companies, work well, to give them the tools to work with one another in dynamic ecosystems. That's all things that we need somehow to take to our advantage to get value out of these technologies. And that's what the program does. Now, for today, there's a lot of focus on green. For us currently, in practice, that means a lot of focus on circular manufacturing. Why particularly? Well, energy efficiency in manufacturing is an important point for sure. There are perhaps other industries like the process industries where it's like a bigger target in its own right, in itself. There's efforts being done also within the program. I will come back with some examples about projects that have addressed energy efficiency. But circular is something that we take close to our heart from the point of view of discrete manufacturing, because the capability to retain value in a diverse set of products, of systems, whether it's cars, whether it's embedded electronics somewhere, where we have to take value of the components that are inside to be able to reuse them. All kinds of solutions out there in the transport systems, in the energy systems. We need to take circularity close to our heart in order to also be self-sufficient in Europe, to be competitive and not depending on other regions for critical raw materials, etc., etc. So retaining the value of the systems that we produce is also very important. So this already is a red line, also throughout the examples that I will give later. Now, I was asked to provide an overview of the future opportunities within the program, which are the call topics. So to say, now we're actually in a position, in a phase where the calls 25 are more or less defined, and we are in like the final straight line towards the definition of these call topics. The entire work program, I will not go into the details, but cluster 4, cluster 5, different clusters within Horizon Europe, many of them referring to particular partnerships. We are really close to finalization of these call topics. What we anticipate is that in terms of the publishing of the program, it would be in the first half of next year, with a deadline probably just after summer, actually, somewhere in September. So there is some time left, also because the European Commission needs to be installed. There have been elections, so there is a bit of a gap between the calls 24, where actually projects have now been identified and the grant agreements have been signed. So there's a set of projects from the 24th call that are starting, but the 25 call, there's a bit of a gap in between, basically due to the election of the European Commission, etc. I will go through some of these drafts and say essentially what they are. I'm particularly pointing at the green manufacturing / circular aspects within those call topics. But I have to say, these are draft call topics. They're not published, they're not finished. I'm just providing them as a piece of information that I would like to share with you in order to see somehow what is coming. But don't take it for granted that everything will be as it is presented. There's 4 topics that I will refer to that will probably have the reference Made in Europe partnership. One is particularly on circular manufacturing, integrated approaches for remanufacturing. There's another one that focuses on the human aspect. That's physical and cognitive augmentation in advanced manufacturing. There's a third one that links to green manufacturing because of the attention that we put there on the manufacturing technologies that are needed to make green tech solutions. That's very much linked to the Net Zero Industry Act, where there's a set of strategic technologies like batteries, hydrogen solutions, wind energy systems. So there's a set of strategic solutions there, products basically, that are key for Green Europe, but we need to manufacture them also to be competitive in the future. Otherwise, we have to buy them from elsewhere. So this is a key strategy for Europe to maintain or to get the capabilities for manufacturing those products. The fourth one is really what I refer to as the wave of generative AI. Comes to us also in our program. So there's generative AI for Europe in manufacturing that will be addressed. And the fifth one is a bit on the borderline in terms of normally what our projects do. It's basically a process for planet topic that will have probably also the link with you made in Europe partnership because of so process for planet, that's more for process industry, where there's a need for integrating the net zero technologies, for instance, like what I mentioned, hydrogen technologies, etc., into process industry sites, manufacturing lines, process industry lines, and hence the link to manufacturing has been put there as the manufacturers of these projects would need to integrate their solutions in process industry, and hence the link with Made in Europe. So that's the five that I here refer to. Just a bit more information in particular about the integrated approaches for remanufacturing. Basically, and I will thereafter give some examples of past calls where projects are currently running. There's quite a set of projects from the 21 call, the 22 call, the 23 and the 24 call that address circular manufacturing. And it's very important to be aware of these projects, and the information is there. So if you're interested to make future projects in this field, it's very inspiring to have a look at what these projects are doing and how they intend to do it. So I will come back to that. But basically, this topic that would be in the next program is real also to increase our capabilities, and therefore it's an innovation action. And it even sets the target of doubling the volume of remanufactured components in the Union. Of course, the projects will not double the volume of remanufactured components in the Union, but it's this impact that we have to have in mind, because we really need to increase our ability to do remanufacturing, to do circular economy. So we need to, and that's also highlighted in yellow, we need to significantly increase the capability, the remanufacturing capabilities. That means some technologies for what's referred to there as mass manufacturing. So really, it's all about scale. There's a lot of projects already in the pipeline, and the point is really to be able to scale up remanufacturing technologies to have good quality, that is competitive quality, and also there to integrate all the traceability, the tools that we need, the digital tools, but of course also the material processing tools like laser cladding, for instance. These technologies that are now typically referred to also as the one that can be used to remanufacture products. So that's quite an important one in upscaling our capabilities in remanufacturing. The one on human is not specifically so much related to green. There it's all about enhancing the capabilities of the workers in factories with cognitive as well as physical augmentation, which can include exoskeletons, which can include a lot of advanced digital interfaces and data collection devices that sense the shop floor, that sense the intentions of the human, and make really a big synergy between the human and the worker and the machines in the factory. That's the second topic. Then we have this topic on advanced manufacturing technologies for the net zero products. So that's another way to look at our impact on the Green Deal, on environmental sustainability in Europe. So there, and in the bottom there, you see a set of material processing technologies that can be chosen as the ones that are potentially key material processing technologies for particular net zero products and components. And this way we have like a cross-sectorial approach in such topics where most probably it's not final, more than one net zero product would need to be addressed in the same project. But yeah, keep an eye on finalization of these drafts. Generative AI for Europe, that's pretty much about foundation models to generate these solutions. So there's a lot of data that needs to be, managed, collected, and then processed in order to lead to these foundation models on which generative AI solutions build. It's quite a complex call topic. I think there's some clarifications probably that need to be done, so I will not go to the detail of this. It's currently seems to be a project or a call topic that really leads to big projects, perhaps less SME friendly, unless there's cascade funding involved, and there would be cascade funding involved. But the thing is how to manage the complexity of it. We'll need to see. But it's a good sign also there that cascade funding would be involved, because it would probably then increase also the possibilities for use cases from SMEs. That would be a statement on that. So basically, I will just refer, and in the handouts, you will see the links to the different overviews of projects that are there, because it's of importance if you are interested to submit proposals or to work in the field, not necessarily even going for a European proposal. Generally, if you work in the area, it's of interest to see what is happening out there in the program. Both from the technology point of view as technology solutions, but also from the use case point of view, because there are different sectors involved in remanufacturing, and that involves photovoltaic solutions that need to be remanufactured because retaining the big value in these products, or white goods. So there's really a lot of sectors involved in these projects. The first one actually that I would like to refer to is the project actually DigiPrime that is now concluded. That was from the 2018-19 call topic on digital manufacturing platforms. There, one project particularly was on the topic of circular economy, with some pilots in the area of batteries, for instance, in the area of mechatronics devices, the circularity of those devices. And it's, I think, one of the stepstones. This project is one of the stepstones within Made in Europe. This one is from Factories of the Future within Made in Europe, to actually increase our capabilities in circularity. This one is not about circularity. These are projects that also have now finished. Some have finished actually still in 24, so they're very recently finished. And that's a set of projects from the 2020 call on energy efficiency. So I refer to energy efficiency as saying, well, process industry puts a lot of attention to that, and the Process for Planet partnership as well. But here an effort was done to see in discrete manufacturing what can be done also with digital technologies. And one of the outcomes, just to illustrate, is a pathway has been developed by these projects to illustrate, where you have a very, low capabilities in addressing energy, where you progress in a second state to having at least some data collection in place, so you know what is happening in the factories. And then you go along the path of being able to act on the data, to act according to the data that you get, to influence energy efficiency and to increase energy efficiency, with a reference to particular standards that could also be important to actually evaluate how you're doing with energy efficiency. So that's one example of how projects have addressed energy efficiency in the Factories of the Future partnership. Now, in Made in Europe, in the 21 call. That was the first call under Horizon Europe. In the first call, there was one call on artificial intelligence for sustainable agile manufacturing, and from this, a number of projects. Well, these 3 projects were born, and there you see, well, for instance, ideas puts into place, for instance, prescriptive maintenance based, which is the advanced way of doing maintenance, which is higher in terms of intelligence than predictive maintenance. It's really knowing very well what would be the impact, where would be the failures, where are the root causes of failures in equipment, also to retain the value of the equipment, to use AI for that. SXAP, self-explainability, is one big target for everything we do in manufacturing. We need to know why AI has particular recommendations for us, and what's the and this here was put into place actually for different use cases, from pharma to steel to asphalt, even laying asphalt. So a diversity of use cases, and particularly circular twin, I would like to point to as really the point of having digital twins. Digital twins for circularity. Later on, you will see projects on digital product passport. It becomes really a big theme. Also because the European Commission is kind of imposing the need to have digital product passports. So how to handle this with digital twins is a very important topic, and projects like Circular Twin also are looking at how digital twins can actually be put into place for circular manufacturing. Also with a diversity of use cases, again, putting that into place. Digital tools to support engineering of a circular economy. There, some examples there. Alicia, I think that's of interest. When we talk about use cases, we tend to think about, automotive, different kind of products, or photovoltaics, or batteries, or windmills, where you have, for instance, composite materials, and you think, well, how can we make that circular, these materials? But this one is actually about manufacturing equipment. How to make manufacturing equipment circular. It's also very, very important to actually retain the value of our manufacturing equipment and upgrade it along its lifetime. So that's a nice example of the implications of circular economy in manufacturing sector itself. Circuits is on electronics, and it becomes really an important topic. The chips, the shortage of availability of chips, etc., puts pressure on us, and so there's projects that actually have seen this as an opportunity to address it. A couple of digital assets and tools for circular value chains, which is very much also on the architectures you need to bring all the data together that you need to collect in order for the future to create the digital product passports. But there's really a big change required in terms of how data is collected and brought together in a sensible way, even across different sectors. Then the 23-24 call, more examples of projects that address this. And for the 23 call, there I think what we've tried to do in our discussions with the Commission is to bring the projects a bit closer to the manufacturing technologies themselves, the remanufacturing technologies. For instance, there are some projects there that deal with additive manufacturing. There is, for instance, the cladding, Restore on the middle right side here, is a project that addresses cladding. So, because I mentioned a lot of digital technologies, I mentioned digital twins. I said we need to do a product passport, but still we're talking about products. We're talking about material that we need to shape, that we need to disassemble. There's robotics that needs to be involved, and it needs to be flexible, because there's a lot of different type of components probably that come in, well, certainly that come in the circular value network. So we need to have flexible disassembly equipment, automated in the sense that it's smart to recognize different shapes and assess the quality of what's coming in, and that then can reshape those products, for instance, with cladding. So that's a set of projects that went more in this direction. And then for the last batch that are actually now ramping up, the grant agreements have been signed for these projects of 24. There was one call topic on technologies and solutions there. And there it's a bit of a mixture with respect to the need for digital solutions and the remanufacturing material processing solutions. So hence that the call in 25 would be really indicating, okay, there's more and more projects where use cases are being done. So there's more knowledge about which technologies we can use, which digitalization is in use. In the meantime, the digital product passport also should become clearer in terms of what it is. And that in 25, we can, address the upscaling of our circularity solutions towards industry. We need to do this at quite a high pace in order to obtain results in the future. So one last example is Circulose, which is an IFRMS project, which brings me again to the Cascade funding. So there's also Cascade funding projects in the program in I4MS, and there's one on Circulose. So potentially there are open calls happening in this project. The project is until 27. So there may be opportunities also for you there in terms of open calls from the projects. Towards the conclusion of this presentation. So we have the 25 draft call topics not finished, but we anticipate some green aspects to be of importance there. We have this ongoing set of projects that already show the direction in how it could work and on what to build, and not starting from scratch in terms of providing your suggestions towards the Commission in terms of project proposals. Now, time goes fast. We have now to discuss very soon the work program 26-27 with the European Commission, which are the two last call proposals, the two last work programs for Horizon Europe. And then starts what we can refer to now as FP10. So we believe, talking also with stakeholders like you, that green manufacturing, circular economy will be one of the pillars also for our program in FP10. And for this, we do now a consultation. First, targeting on work program 26-27. So on the EFRA's website, and the link is also in the presentation there, but on the EFRA website, you will be able to see a page inviting you to contribute to this consultation with 10, you can call them teasers, 10 potential research areas where we're very keen to hear how you see the importance of those key research areas for the future. Green manufacturing is also among them, obviously competitiveness related aspects as well, human related aspects. So we're happy also to get your point of view there. And we will build on that also to see what is our position, our viewpoint on the €1 program towards FP10 after this work program has concluded their work programs. So that's what we're doing. I was invited to tell something about the importance of SMEs, or the value of the program for SMEs. I have to say that there is a tendency actually within the call topics to ask for bigger projects, which is not necessarily something that EFRA is asking for. There's a tendency within the overall programs that there's a push to have less projects and bigger projects. We think that's challenging. And even if there's a situation where there's call for big projects, what we would advise is, and that's why the network, the regional network is so important, to have a good interaction, of course, with research and technology organizations that have a legacy in the program, that know how things work, and that can guide SMEs into the program with a particular use case, for instance. I think use cases are for sure key in every call topic that we're asking for. And to be well positioned in a particular use case, make things processable for an SME. And then the point is to be well integrated into a project proposal. I think that's of key importance. And then where there's cascade funding involved, that's also an opportunity. And I think also already Rui addressed this. So that's that. Then just within EFRA, also to say that we have installed working groups, including one on circular manufacturing, which are more communities within the EFRA membership, to discuss who is doing what in which field. Currently, we are setting up meetings where we call for EFRA members to come forward with exploitable results from projects that they've done, that they're doing, to have more insight in where we are, what is really out there, not necessarily as something that would be on the market like tomorrow, but the work on digital product passport, for instance, it has been something mystical almost, and we need to make that concrete. Where are we with these developments? Where are we with the digital twins and circular, etc., etc.? So to gather this intelligence. So this is something also that we're doing. We're connecting that to the impact the feedback we get from the consultation, and this will help us to formulate the priorities for the next work programs. And with this, I would like to thank you for your attention. And well, I'm happy to answer some questions if there are now or later on in the process. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Chris. Very good. So you give a very good overview about the work in EFRA. So I think it would be interesting to open now to 2 or 3 questions. If you don't want to put it by voice, you can write it on the chat. But now we have a question from Gilles Oliveira. Gilles, please.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Chris, for the very good presentation. And that someone asked for the PowerPoint. I know it will be shared, so thank you very much for that. Just want to hear your voice on the following. A lot has been said also about enhancing collaboration between geographies, European geographies, between communities. In one of the points that you mentioned in one of the slides when you were giving examples, I think there was one about a platform of collaboration of something like manufacturing as a service, something like that. What is the priority and what is in practical terms being done on that topic, high-level topic that has been spoken in the events?
Just to well, thanks for your feedback and your question already. Just to get it right, I did not hear exactly clearly. You mean the collaborative manufacturing, the need to have platforms?
Well, maybe I didn't express myself clearly. I've been hearing in the events and in the EFRA communication that one of the priorities is to enhance collaboration between communities, geographies, and well, a little bit like nobody has to do everything. We have to.
Okay.
That was my question.
Okay. Well, there's different ways to see the cooperation. You may refer to what is also referred to as the smart specialization, where there has been initiatives to see in Europe, indeed, that not everybody needs to be the best at everything if we cooperate well. So this is an initiative that somehow, program-wise, EFRA is not so much, interfering with, if I can say it. I believe that what we definitely stimulate, and that we also now do with the working groups, that we know better where are the research and innovation capabilities. What exactly are the different institutes focusing on? Because only then there be a kind of, smart specialization. And we see that things are going quite fast, and that, for instance, there we see maybe some tendencies of, for instance, humans in manufacturing. It's a big topic. There we see some focal points, perhaps in Europe and maybe in the Nordic countries. There's quite some attention to it. For instance, well, I'm aware, and well, you are from Iberomoldes, so I don't have to tell you, well, that Portuguese has a tradition in molding industry, and yeah, of course, this means that there's particular technologies that are of particular interest to you. What we would like to facilitate is, of course, that you can obtain your inspiration, of course, from RTOs, research and technology organizations that are near to you, because you can work with them easily, but also that you are inspired by things that are happening elsewhere, and that your innovation supporters that are near to you are also cooperating with other organizations in Europe, so that they can transfer new technologies much easier to you as well. So I think this European network, not necessarily deciding who should be doing what in Europe, but really making the European network for instance, Fraunhofer and Dortmund has this particular technology. Well, let's make it known, and then another RTO can say, well, okay, this is of interest to some of my clients. How can I get this technology? It's a bit linked to what's happening with the digital innovation hubs, but I mean, just spreading information is important for us, and that's the collaborative thing. Now, first, I thought your question was more directed towards, for instance, in circular economy, because the huge need to make circular happen is companies need to be able to work with other companies.
But my question was
yeah.
targeted on that direction, please. That was exactly my question.
Okay. Well, fine. Well, then maybe I rambled on a bit too long about the smart specialization point. But the ecosystem approach, even the call topic, the draft call topic that I'm referring to, is very much also indicating that this is of importance. Because scaling up will mean that we need capabilities. You refer to manufacturing as a service, which also means that, these capabilities need to be found somewhere. If you need to upgrade a particular component, perhaps you will need to cooperate with other companies that have the capabilities. Well, maybe first already to assess the quality of components in a system and say, well, we can keep these components, or we should replace them, or we should upgrade them. So the ecosystem approach is anyway in circular. It's by default of huge importance. So it goes without saying. Now, manufacturing as a service is also used for the resilience point of view, where knowing capabilities of other companies to work with them and to act fast with them is also of huge importance. So I think there's twofold targets here: resilience, if there's a disruption in the value network, regardless of circular, and circular itself.
Okay.
So it's clearly an important topic. And on top of that, with the discussion on data spaces, that's something where, when are companies ready to share their data so that they can act more in an ecosystem way? And what is the barrier for companies to share their data? Why would they like to keep their data or keep it within the factory, etc.? So
that's
another
challenge itself, but I agree.
That's a challenge in itself.
Yeah.
You can have as much yes.
Yeah, no, you addressed my question, and I'll be looking closely to the presentation, because I saw something around the manufacturing as a service, and that was what explained my question.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
don't hesitate to get back to me afterwards also if you have more questions.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to be long.
No, thank you.
Okay, there is more questions? Chris, in fact, I just want to, because we need to move, the time is running too fast. But one of the questions that we heard about this question of sustainability and circular economy is that maybe Europe is running too fast comparing the other blocks like China and the US. And last week we had a big conference here with the companies, industrial companies, that are facing a great competition and a non-fair competition from other areas. And considering your question about what about the next framework program, what should be the topics, how far should we go? I think this at least should be in our minds when we are discussing this, because companies are suffering a lot because there is a big deregulation at the European level comparing other places. So sometimes research is pushing far away the industry, but the market is not there, and the conditions to play in the market should be in line with the money that we are putting on these tasks. So this is just a remark. I would like to thank you very much for your presentation. And now I would like to suggest to pass to Liliana that will present, and I appeal to the time. She will present how can we support companies and manufacturing in these processes. So, Liliana, please, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Roy, and Chris also for the very good presentation. So I will go on with mine. I'll share my...
Maybe Chris need to... yeah, okay, it's okay.
It's okay?
It's okay.
Okay, so my Sorry?
Just to say to Rui, I'm still there till the end. If that was your question, I'm sorry to
interrupt you.
I stay.
Because your presentation was there, so I was to see. But it's okay now. You can continue.
Okay, so thank you. My presentation is about CENTIF support action to manufacturing at the European level.
I'm not listening to you. Liliana, you have your sound disconnected.
Mute.
Okay, sorry. It's okay?
It's okay.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, my presentation is about CENTIF support action to manufacturing at the European level. And for those who don't know CENTIF is located at Marinha Grande in the coast in the center of Portugal. I don't manage to... Okay, so some pictures about our facilities and also several certifications that we have. So CENTIF is recognized as a technology and innovation center. It's a CTI. We are co-founder of an official member of engineering and tooling cluster. We also are a point of consultation recognized for our commitment for sustainability. We are recognized for R&D activities, and we have our laboratories certificate by EPAC, and we are also certified for management system services. So CENTIF is a non-profit organization created in 1991. We have over 230 associates. organization, enterprises. Regarding enterprises, it's mostly from molds, plastic, but also other industrial sectors. And we have also association within our members and R&D and universities organized.
You mute again. You mute again, Liliana. Liliana, you are mute.
Is okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So about CENTIF's mission is to support innovation and competitiveness within industry. We provide R&D, technical services, and training to industry. We focus on R&D services, technical expertise, and innovation partnership. Regarding technological expertise, just to know that CENTIF have 55 human resources persons. Almost 70% have a master's degree. We are from academic areas, since management and economy, to different engineering area as mechanical engineering, materials, molds, electronic and computers, and also aerospace. We also have 3 PhD colleagues.
I don't know what happened, but the sound is
services.
not good.
Sorry?
The sound is not so good, but you can continue, please.
Okay. Regarding services, so CENTIF have technical areas as development and engineering with design, simulation, and prototyping. We also have industrialization and production, for example, handling systems, machining and small series with injection molding, 3D printing, and machining. And we have also additive manufacturing with SLA, SLA, MEX, and SLEM. We also have our metrology laboratory certified for dimensional and mass calibrations, and also for test and detect positioning error in machine tools. Above these technical areas, we also dynamize corporate events, have specialized training, and other services as management systems consultancy and lean tools consultancy, also safety at work consultancy. So regarding CENTIF at the European level action, I would like to emphasize 3 points. So it's our participation in R&D projects, our network and collaboration with partners, and our European representation. So focusing on international network, cross-border project, and straighten ties between research organization and industry. So about support programs and the projects. At the European level, what are we involved in actually? So what are some examples of ongoing projects? Actually, at Horizon Europe, we are starting a project which is a public. Sorry?
Continue, please.
We have a project which is a public-private initiative with Circular Biowaste Europe joint undertaking, which is Polymer 5B. It's about biowaste and biodegradable polymers. So it's a thematic of this project. We We also have running PoolRec, which is a Eurocluster initiative. Regarding PoolRec, just an example for the consortium and the partnership, it involves 5 countries: Denmark, Germany, France, Spain, and Portugal. PoolRec project is cascade funding. About digital money, it's about recycling solutions, where we have support funding vouchers for SMEs up to 30,000 euros. Actually, we have 3 open calls until the end of this month. The open calls that SMEs can apply are about these 3 topics. It's training about adaptive innovative recycling methods, and the budget for the grant is 1,400 euros, more or less. The second topic is training on adopting digital processes. The value is the same. And the last topic is on specific technical profiles related to polymer recycling. So these calls are open until the end of this month. You have here the link when you can fill if you want to apply. And it's a cascade funding. It's a very easy form, and we can also help SMEs to fill it if they are interested in. Another important program that we have at European level is Erasmus Plus. It's a program that we are involved with 3 projects actually: CircVet, Catalyst, and Step 2 Lab. Just to mention that CircVet and Catalyst are about sustainability and circular economy. And to give you an example, within Catalyst, we have 70 module training program under development that will be available at that, and that industry can access and help us to validate also the contents. We will have some trials in the next few months. Step 2 Lab was a recent closed project, very interesting also, in order to show what is industry to an inmate public for their reintegration. You also have here the dimension of the network and the involvement of different organizations among Europe. So there are very many organizations. Another kind of program, it's a cross-border program, it's Interreg. We have Interreg POCTEP and Interreg Sudway. Regarding Interreg POCTEP, it's about promoting green design and technological solution. Just to give an example, today in Aveiro with our partner from university, we have people from Sentin there in order to share best practice about green design with industry. This is a kind of sessions that we do at this project. And we have a new project about introduction of robotics, automation, and digitalization with Robota Sudway project, which is a 3 years project, and it's going to develop demonstrators about handling food and meat, and also about handling for the plastic sector. Last but not least, we are also involved in the Eureka stamp and EURIPST. 2 examples regarding Eureka stamps. Eureka is an initiative to promote collaboration with enterprise and research entities. So we will start a new project by the end of this month, of this year, that is already approved, which is Innov Polymer. It's focused on REAM technology. And another example for RIPS, we just have been awarded this month for an innovation award. It's with our project, which is called SAP for EMEA. It's a smart active packaging for margarines. These programs are European for the stamp, but then we have to go to financial at a national level. And we have our programs from Portugal in 2020 and Portugal 2030. So enhancing the manufacturing sector, we focus on innovation, collaboration, and training. And also promote knowledge exchange, international collaboration, and in order to have a competitive industry. Regarding European representation, Centinf is a member of EFRA. It also participates on Manufacture platform and European tooling platform. Regarding Manufacture, we are also a member of the high-level group. Just to explain the relations between these three platforms or organization, what I can say is EFRA, as was explained in the presentation today, is an organization that helps creating instruments to support industry with actually ongoing the Made in Europe initiative. Regarding Manufacture platform, it established a strategy for manufacturing, and we have a European tooling platform, which is a sub-platform for the tooling related to manufacture. So here explaining what is the relation between EFRA and tooling, and obviously these three platforms are related with Horizon Europe because Horizon Europe are in industry-related partnership. They define roadmaps in the beginning of the program, but they also make an upgrade of these programs, of these roadmaps, within some specific period along the calendar of Horizon Europe. So I think everybody knows this slide, right, about Horizon Europe. About roadmaps, this is European tooling roadmap where we made contribution. We also have three different kind of, as I explained before, Manufacture roadmap is about automation, digitalization, and sustainability. EFRA is about smart factories, and European tooling platform more specific about tooling technologies. So just a summary and focusing on tooling industry, the main important topics, as we already said, are digitalized tooling, sustainable tooling, and advanced materials. Back to Horizon Europe. As Chris explained, we actually in 2024 we have the program is closed, but within cluster industry we will have some topics are already starting to be discussed. They will be published in March, and it's expected that from May to November the call will be open. I put there some topics. I am not going to discuss. It's not definitive, and it has been presented by our national agency last week. It's not closed. It will be, as I said, published on next week. But I'll let you hear the information in order also to think about it. So this is destination 2, destination 4, and destination 6 topic. So again, back to Saint-Yves. I want to highlight our next event, next international event. To mention that next year we are organizing a MOLDS event. Every 2 years, Saint-Yves organizes MOLDS event. We have also 2 important international events, which is Design to Project, D2P, that will happen on February, and RPD within MOLDS event that will happen on November. Within MOLDS event, an important day is a brokerage event. So usually last MOLDS event was in November, and it will be also in November in 2025. So some technical problems. Okay. Regarding just to focus about brokerage events, so it's very important in order to promote and facilitating partnerships, help market exploitation, and share knowledge. I don't know if regarding the format of the brokerage event, just to say, we have a pre-event activity where we register some ideas and we make pre-event matchmaking. Then we have the day of the brokerage event, and at the follow-up of this post-event in order to help partners to succeed with new partnership. To conclude, Saint-Yves, I make an overview about international projects that are ongoing on Saint-Yves. Saint-Yves want to promote technological advancement within our manufacturing industry. So please join Saint-Yves events and get in touch for new projects. I'll leave my contact. Any question? Thank you.
Thank you, Liliana. Thank you very much. So, as Liliana said, Saint-Yves is a research center, and all these projects involves companies and universities and research centers. So we are a hub to promote this. So thank you very much. So I don't know if there is any question right now. We are almost ending, but now we have a short period for some questions. There is no questions. So if there is any question, I would take advantage to have in this presentation the chairman of our GEMSTONE project, and I will ask him, if you don't mind, to close the session. Please, Loïc Marin from France. Nice to see you again, my friend.
Yeah. Can you hear me well?
Very well, loud and clear.
Okay, super. So yes, I will conclude this very interesting webinar. Thank you very much for the organization. Thank you to Chris and Efra for the presentation, for all the information that you have shared with us. It was very interesting to hear, but actually SIM is an active partner of EFRA, so that's very good to see that European partners all across Europe can be interested in this network. And also thank you to Poolnet and Team Free, Christina, Liliana for the good organization of this webinar and more globally to be a very good partner in GEMSTONE. So thank you very much, and see you very soon for the next webinar.
Thank you, Loic. Thank you, Chris, again, and thank you, everybody.
you.
We close here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.